Hey everybody, it's January 1st, 2017. Gonna have to get used to saying 2017 now. I'd wish everybody a happy new year, but the reality is by the time I finish editing this video and posting it, it's probably gonna be a couple of weeks from the actual New Year's Day. So, gonna do I realized I've got to get a flea market finds tool buy segment done because I've got a bunch of stuff here. I hit an estate sale a few weeks ago. I've got stuff all over the place I need to get put away, so I figured, well, I better get cracking on that. And I figured one of the ways I could get started was maybe by starting off the new year with a new piece of gear. So, much to the delight of many of my viewers, I think this will be to the delight of many of my viewers, my wife came through for me this year, and this was my gift from her. This is the Gopro Hero 4 Silver. And what ended up happening was probably, I don't know, in late November or somewhere around there, she approached me and showed me that the BJ's Wholesale Club flyer that we had came in. See, now here's a perfect example of why I want to get this camera working. Boiler came on as it's often does in the wintertime here in New England, and it's kind of close to where I'm standing, and the noise is annoying. So I get closer to the microphone, and hopefully we can just continue without having to wait for this thing to come up to temperature. Anyways, the BJ's flyer came in, and they were advertising this Hero 4 Silver GoPro with added bonus at a really good price. I don't remember exactly what it was, but when I looked it up online, I realized, oh, that is a really good price. And the reason why the price on these is dropping like a rock is because I guess they've got the Hero 5 out now or something. I forgot what the heck it is. But, so this is the Hero 4 Silver, and the extras that come with it, which I guess normally it doesn't come with, is it's got a waterproof case on it, and it comes with 2 batteries with the battery charger, dual battery charger, so I think you can actually charge both batteries simultaneously. And it actually even comes with a 16 gig card. It's the SD micro card and an SD micro card reader. So it comes with basically everything you need to take it right out of the box and start shooting video, if you can mount it. So we'll get to that in a moment. So real quick, let me just talk about the camera I've been using as of late. I've been using a Nikon Coolpix L830 in video mode. This camera is able to shoot in full HD, 1080. What I typically do though is when I render the software and I do the editing and everything, and I use iMovie, I export it as a 720 video, only because I don't think people are seeing that much of a gain in video quality between the two, but there's a big difference in the size of the file, so my upload times are greatly reduced by going down to 720. So anyways, what I was going to say was the biggest shortcoming I had with this camera up until now was the audio. It's got the microphones that are on the camera aren't that great. So I would recommend this camera to anyone who's looking for a digital SLR camera. The thing takes beautiful photos. It's a very good camera. But, and you can, this has been, I don't know how many models have come out since this came out, but this is another one of these deals where you can find a good used one of these on eBay, very reasonably priced. But if you want to shoot video with it, you need to be aware that this camera, which if I had realized this when I was looking at cameras, I wouldn't have bothered getting this camera. This camera has no external microphone input. There is no jack anywhere on this camera that will allow you to hook up an external microphone. And no, there's no micro USB or some other little connector somewhere that you can sneak in through some other way. Not going to happen. I know this because I researched it, and the only way that people are putting a camera on, an external microphone on this camera, is by hacking it. And the hack is you actually have to disassemble the camera case, trace the wires that go from the internal microphones to the PC board, and solder on wires, and then find a place to stick a jack somewhere and solder the wires to the new jack. And it's a whole involved thing. And if you're real careful and you've got the skill to do it, I'm pretty confident I could do it if I wanted to. But there's also a guy on YouTube who did a really nice job of it. He actually wired it so that his internal microphone, he used the jack, that when the plug is inserted into the jack, it cuts out the internal microphones, and when he unplugs it, his internal microphones go back on. So that way he didn't really change the integrity of the camera if you did want to use the onboard microphones instead of having something hang out. The reason why I wanted to use a external microphone jack, just by putting a shotgun mic or something like that on the camera itself would be a big improvement on the audio quality. But more importantly, I want to try and use one of these type of microphones. Those of you who saw my my trip to George Russell's house up in New Hampshire, and to get those outboard motors, may have recalled that he was kind enough to donate this lavalier, or I think lavalier is kind of like it's a brand name, I think, that kind of gets used more generically, like the way everybody calls them Band-Aids, but in reality the only true Band-Aids are the ones made by, was it Johnson & Johnson or whatever? Just like jacuzzis. Everybody likes to call them jacuzzis, but the reality is only the ones that were actually made by jacuzzi are jacuzzis. The other ones are jetted bathtubs or whirlpool baths or hot tubs, depending on if it's indoor or outdoor. But who cares? So this is a Radio Shack, so this would be, probably not professional quality, but the fact that it's going to be a microphone that would be right here should be a major increase in the audio quality. So I was all excited to use this, and then found out that I can't plug it into this camera, the current camera. So then, to make matters worse, I don't remember exactly what episode it was and what I was doing, but at some point in the past 6 months, I think, I was doing something with this camera, and something splashed onto the lens. And I noticed some spots on the lens, and I tried cleaning them. And some of them came out, but some of them didn't. And I didn't really realize it until I was just editing a video the other night, and I think it might have, I don't even remember what video it was. It's one of the ones that was just recently posted. And I noticed that in a distance shot like this, where it's not close up, that there is very clearly somewhere right up in this vicinity here, you guys are probably seeing a mysterious floating orb. And it may be a ghost that's trying to, appear. I'm not sure what the heck it is, but it's always there. Unless you zoom in and then it magically goes away. But seriously, guys, I've done something to the camera lens. The problem is, no amount of cleaning seems to be taking care of it, because the camera lenses have special coatings on them. And I think whatever splashed onto the camera was solvent based, and I think it actually has etched or damaged the coating in that area. So short of maybe polishing this thing, I don't know whether or not I'm ever going to get this lens to clean up. So we've always got these floaters, or whatever you want to call them, around me. There's one big one over here, and I think there's actually several others, but depending on what the background is or the light levels or whatever, you may or may not even notice them. But it's annoying. So unfortunately, I think I'm going to have to retire this camera, even though I haven't had it that long. And also, unfortunately, I don't even know whether or not I'm going to be able to resell it on eBay, because I'm obviously I'm going to want to be honest about the the issue with the floaters, so to speak. And I don't even know if you can remove the lens on this thing. I don't think this is a type of digital SLR with a removable lens. It's not. So when I was shopping for a replacement camera and I bought this camera, inadvertently, because of the way things ended up, I was a high bidder on more than one, trying to hedge my bets. I inadvertently ended up buying 2 cameras. So the second camera that I ended up getting is this Everio JVC. This also shoots in HD. This is a nice little small camera. What's nice about this is it's got the reversible screen, which this has got the LCD screen on the back that you can change the angle, but you can't flip it up completely backwards. So I can't, right now, I don't know what the camera is exactly looking at. So I have to do a little test clip to make sure my head's in shot or whatever, and then go back, erase the test clip, and then shoot. With this here, I wouldn't have to do that. The pain in the butt with this thing is that it didn't come with any of the accessories. So in order to charge it, I don't have a charger for this pack. So in order to charge it, I have to put a micro USB or a USB charger on here and charge it that way. And I've actually done that, but it takes a little longer to charge. I think maybe because the chargers I'm using might not have the proper amount of power. And the other thing that I didn't know about this camera until I got it in is, again, this camera has no auxiliary input for a microphone. You can't put an external microphone on this camera either. Now, there is a jack here that says AV, but everything I looked in the manual states that that jack is an AV out jack, that there was a plug that would plug into this, and on the other end of the plug it would give you RCA type plugs, a white, a red, and a yellow. The yellow for video, the white and the red for stereo audio. That's it. Someone had said, I think in one of my previous posts, that they believed that I think either the HDMI port or one of these ports, that supposedly there might be a way to send audio in on that. I tried doing a little bit of research and figuring that out, and I couldn't find anybody. I couldn't find one example of anyone doing that with this camera. So that makes me highly suspicious that that would work. So unfortunately, this camera will probably be relegated to a backup camera or something like that. I don't know. So the wife shows me the BJ's flyer. I check it, and I realize, hey, that's a really good price on the camera, especially with the bundle and everything. So I said, yeah, that'd be great. I'd love that. Well, she called, and they were completely sold out. So they went pretty fast, I guess. And then when I went online, it almost seemed like they were just closing out what they had left. So I didn't, we went online and I looked at prices like on Amazon and other websites, and it was like $150 to $200 more at the time. And I told her flat out, I said, I appreciate it, but I don't want to see you spending that kind of money on a camera for me. So I said, if you could have got it for that price, that sale price, that'd be great. But, at the prices that they now want for it, yeah, it's just the principle of the thing. You're going to dangle it in front of us for this price, and then you're going to turn around and the price is going to jack up like crazy? I think not. So, and that wasn't a Black Friday deal either, just to be clear. And, I know Black Fridays, all bets are off. There are just some weird deals on Black Fridays. But this was not a Black Friday deal. This was just something they were doing. So, lo and behold, Christmas Day comes, and I open up my gift, and voila, a Hero 4. And she told me that she just kept on it, and she kept calling and checking, and what ended up happening was at one point they said to her, well, that our local BJ's didn't have it, but that another BJ's near us had 6 of them, and it was kind of funny because I think she stopped at the local one that supposedly didn't have any, and I don't know if they had just come in. Long story short, she got one, and she got either the same deal price that they had early on or pretty close to it. So let's do a quick unboxing of this thing. And the problem with this camera, the only problem with this camera right off the bat, which I looked online, and you can use an external microphone with this camera. That's the good part. The bad part is that GoPro has a proprietary cord that plugs into a little jack on the side here and allows you to adapt to, I think it's like a 3.5 millimeter, the standard kind of plug that you would have with, you know, one of these type of systems. And the big complaint that everybody has about that whole system, two big complaints about that system. Complaint number one, they only have one style, and it plugs into the side of the camera and it sticks out because the camera's so small, it actually sticks out, you know, probably only about that much, the plug part before the wire, you know, allows you to turn the wire. But the point is, with the camera being this small, the damn plug sticks out about 25% of the length of the entire camera. And people pointed out that that's a real easy way for that to get hit and bumped and break or damage the input jack on there. And if that happens, you know, now you're talking, you know, it could be disastrous. So that's one of the complaints. And then the second complaint is the fact that for what this thing is, a little wire about that long that's got the jack that fits in here on one side, and then it's got the other jack on the other side, and there is a resistor in that. And if you want to look into exactly how that, basically that little stupid plug, that little cord adapter is about $20. And there are a lot of people selling them online, aftermarket, El Cheapos, that if you want to wait for the slow boat from China, e-packet, whatever they call it there, you can get them for a couple bucks a piece or some ridiculously low price. But all the reviews, all the forums, everything I've read said that almost all of those don't work properly. They either don't work at all, or you only get audio in one channel, so you lose your stereo. But there are also plenty of people showing online how you can hack one of those cheapo plugs to work correctly with this. So if you've got some experience, you're good at soldering, you've got, you know, good manual dexterity and everything, you could probably tackle that. And the number one benefit to doing that, well, besides the fact that, you know, you save probably about $18 doing it yourself. The number one benefit is that you can buy a plug that comes out that has a right angle on it so that it doesn't stick out as far from the camera, and therefore it's going to be a little bit more streamlined and less likely to get banged on something and cause a problem. So, you know, I might do that at some point and shoot a video on that, although there's plenty of, I think there's plenty of videos online of people doing that already. So for the time being, if I fire this camera up and start using it, we're going to have to use the onboard audio. So, unboxing this puppy, the first thing I noticed is that, you know, I consider myself to be a reasonably intelligent individual, and I just, quite frankly, don't understand why they didn't put some sort of instructions on the outside of this box as to the best way to open it. I mean, I could easily get into this thing and, you know, destroy the box, but I'd rather not do that. So there's a little seal right here that I already cut. I already took a peek inside here, so kind of cheated. And you got this like two flap things here, and what that allows them to do is that allows them to kind of have a couple of separate compartments to put the little goodies in. All right. So this is where things get kind of pear-shaped. I haven't figured out how to get the camera out of here yet. Alright, you open up this next little level, and all of this paperwork comes out. And then I guess if you pull on these two tabs, maybe? Okay, so, alright, so the camera's trapped in there forever and never going to come out. So, what do we have here? Alright, so this is the dual battery charger, and they're giving me a little USB cable adapter here. So, right off the bat, I can see that obviously, if you're like me, you would want an AC charger. So you'd have to charge this off a powered USB port right now. I have some USB chargers for phones, but I don't know whether or not they would be able to. I'll have to look and see whether or not, you know, this thing, how much power does this thing want? Yeah, this right here, it says it's a 5 volt 2 amp. So you're gonna have a USB charger that has at least a 2 amp capability or more to plug this into and allow you to run this charger. And comes with the 2 batteries like they promised. Comes with a micro SD card adapter and a micro SD card. It comes with a 16 gig card. You know, obviously I think I've got a larger card in this camera right now, so I could swap those cards out. Comes with what appears to be a hinged screen protector. It looks like it comes with 2 of them. Why do these look different? That's weird. This has got this black mask all the way around the perimeter of it. This one has the black mask around just part of it. And that looks like it's done deliberately, so there must be a good reason for that. And then we got, this looks like a couple of Velcro mounts maybe, that you kind of peel and stick this. Oh no, that's just a peel and stick mount. So that's a shoe that you would stick somewhere. And then this is another shoe, different style. Got this funky little mount here. And then this funky little mount here. And what I'm noticing is I don't see anything that's going to adapt to the standard stud on the top of my tripod, which, you know, everybody knows those. It's actually, well, I remember a while back I had this old CV antenna that I trashed, but I cut the coax off, and I kept this because it was a magnetic mount and it had this threaded deal on the top here, and it's the same thread and size as the standard camera. So in other words, you can do this. So I could stick that anywhere where I wanted to mount it on a magnetic surface. The problem with this is that there's no swivel capability, so I'd have to get some kind of a swivel or tilt thing to make this more versatile. I don't see anything like that on here. So I guess GoPro, you know, they're doing some kind of a proprietary thing. They got their own deal going. They think they know what's best. So they're not going to let you use anybody's tripod that you want to, unless you're willing to make an adapter or maybe buy an adapter. There's a list of accessories on the back here, and it shows right here tripod mounts. So I'm thinking maybe those are the ones they're talking about. Now, I guess I could take my tripod mount off my camera now and just stick one of these on there, and voila. Alright, so let's see if I can figure out how to get this camera open. This box open with the camera in it. Okay, I see. Looks like you pull this little tab right here. Another one on this side. Pull that. Pull that. That allows us to slide off. We have more cryptic instructions here. Just an arrow pointing this way on this piece. So I'm assuming you just... There you go. Oh, there you go. Gotta love it. And the last piece of the puzzle is how to get this off of here, which they give you a little cartoon right here that's supposed to explain that to you. So, the cartoon apparently says to squeeze these two things here and pull forward. Ooh, that's a stiff little mount. And the camera is now free. Now, I think this plastic piece, this plastic piece is just designed to stay with the box in perpetuity. I knew these cameras were small, but until you actually have one in your hands, you don't appreciate how darn small they are. And this is actually a little bit bigger than it even normally would be because it's in this protective case. And it looks like we've got the arbitrary little fake picture on the LCD screen. So that just peels off. Important product safety information. GoPro Care. You break it, we replace it. Get covered for 2 years. Add GoPro Care within 60 days of your camera purchase. Wonder how much that cost. Here's the dual battery charger owner's manual for the Hero 4 batteries. It says, conveniently charge your GoPro batteries. Yeah, sure, if you think it's convenient to have to buy an additional AC adapter. Step 1, mini USB cable. Step 2, insert the other side of the USB cable into a GoPro wall charger, GoPro auto charger, or other standard USB charger or computer. Other standard USB charger. Well, you know what? If you got like a USB charger that came with your phone, this is not necessarily a guarantee that that's going to have the current capability that this charger apparently wants to see of 2 amps. So, I might be wrong, but I never really looked at the current capability of my USB charger. Anywho, compatibility for use only with GoPro Hero 4 rechargeable batteries. Okay. Alright, that's really pretty much all that you need to know about that. Be a hero, GoPro. I don't know why I would want these stickers. Safety information, warranty. So here's the Hero 4 Silver. Got a quick start guide here. Alright, step 1, remove the camera from the housing, and it's got a little cartoon that shows you how to do that. And it looks like I was on the right track. I just didn't want to force it because it felt like it was so damn stiff. And step 2, remove the camera side door and insert a micro SD card sold separately. So that is an extra that came with this packet, making this bundle a little bit of a better buy. Okay, so according to this, you pull up on this. Jesus. I'll double check this, make sure I'm doing this right. That's pretty wild. Okay, that doesn't make sense to me. Why the hell is that so hard to... I'm going to break this thing. My kids are fighting. I got to go upstairs and break that up. Whew. Crisis averted. Christmas vacation week. It's been a tough week. Can't wait for the kids to go back to school. Get back into their normal routine. All right. So, I was in the process of trying to break this brand new camera mount case. I just want to show you the little cartoon in the book here, just so you guys don't think I've lost my mind. But I clearly see what they're telling me to do. And I'm telling you, if you felt the amount of force I'm exerting on this thing to try and get that stupid thing to pop up in the far left-hand picture there, you would know why I'm kind of apprehensive. So take a load off since I'm going to be here a while. If I had a coin, there seems to be a slot right here. I want to put anything sharp in there. That did the trick. That's crazy how tight that is. I guess by design it has to be that tight so that it's squeezing and really compressing the hell out of this gasket inside here to make this waterproof. I mean, this doesn't say water resistant. This literally says waterproof. You know how few things on the market today say waterproof? This says waterproof to 131 feet or 40 meters. So that's a bold statement. All right, so once you flip this lock up, which I hope is made out of some kind of super strong plastic, because it's going to take some abuse. I guess you don't open this up a lot. Well, no, actually you have to. You have to open it up every time you put a battery in or take the card in or out or do anything. So you're going to be opening and closing this thing a lot. I guess that's why they give you 2 replacement doors. Something tells me the doors break on these. All right, let's see. I'm going to rotate this. Maybe not. All right, do you have to take the mount off to get this open? According to this, oh, that's interesting. The door won't open far enough to get the camera out like it does in the photo with this mount the way it is. And yet, alright, now I've loosened this up significantly and this does not want to move. Oh, there's a little piece of plastic right here that says remove, and it's got a little trash can on it, so they want you to take this off, I think, and throw it away. Hey, I tell you what, you know what? Here's an idea. Why not have that as one of the steps in here? That little plastic piece right there, I guess, goes in the garbage. Well, now I know why this wouldn't swivel. So now, with that little piece of plastic out of the way, this swivels down, the door opens to where it's supposed to, and voila! The camera, oh my god, I'm sorry, I just can't get over how small this thing is. The camera comes out. Oh my goodness, this is ridiculous. I'm shocked that these things work at all. Battery compartment. There's a little port right here that's covered up that has a little wrench on it. Got an interesting little port on the back here. Pop this little door off. It gives you access to your SD card slot and your HDMI output and the special little port there, which is your audio input and output by the looks of it, because it's marked TV and it shows a little symbol for TV and a little symbol for looks like a microphone. Huh. Interesting. So you can see that you're gonna obviously you're going to have to leave this door off if you're using that external jack for an external microphone. Not the greatest situation. So I'm gonna have to stop this little unboxing video here, I guess, because I do not have charged batteries. All right. And since I want to get going on this video series, I'm going to at the very least, I'm going to start the video series on the tool buys and estate sales using the old camera that I've been using. So, my apologies if I wet your whistle and teased you with this thing, only to not put it into action immediately. So just a comment about the mounts. This mount here, just like more of a gooseneck. And these all will go onto these shoes that can be stuck onto something. Talks about the basics, the touch display. Well, that's an interesting point right there. It's a touchscreen display, but it's inside this waterproof case. So you've got access to really only 3 buttons while it's in the case here. So if whatever you want to do doesn't involve these 3 buttons, then you're going to have to open the case up and use the touchscreen display. Camera mode, video, photo, multi-shot playback setup. Okay, so it's a 3M adhesive VHB. I've heard of this. I don't know what that stands for, but I've heard that mentioned on somebody else's videos. So this VHB, apparently it's a pretty darn good adhesive. It goes on to tell you, it says you can apply this adhesive mount to a clean, smooth surface at room temperature at least 24 hours in advance. And then when you want to remove it, you have to heat it with a hair dryer and peel off. So I'm going to have to give some thought about where I want to actually stick one of these things. And it talks about using the different mounts. Oh, this is a side mount. Okay, I see. So this is basically allows you to change. You basically can take this shoe off of here and put it onto here, and then use this on the camera. So now you can actually do like this. So if you want to mount this off to the side of something. Okay, here's an explanation about the back doors. Your Hero Silver camera comes with 3 back doors, each designed for different uses and environments. The standard back door provides waterproof protection to 131 feet. Used when shooting underwater or in wet, damp, or dirty conditions. The touch back door enables access to the camera's touch display. It only gives you waterproof protection to 10 feet. All right. And then the last one is the skeleton back door. It's not waterproof. Used in dry, dirt-free environments only. Enables enhanced audio capture during low-speed activities. Oh, okay. So this one doesn't obscure your microphone as much. That's this one here. So that explains why you've got the extra doors. They're not spares in case you break one. They all have their own unique job, which I kind of figure that might be the case since they're a little bit different. Alright, and there's instructions on how to swap the back door. We don't need to get into that. Yada, yada, yada. Alright. So that's just a basic overview of the new camera that's going to be coming up. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to go and see if I can't find my USB charger that will work with this and charge these batteries, and then I'll go to work on I'll go to work on this video series with the existing camera to get the ball rolling. Maybe I'll switch out later and see what the difference is.